Can you imagine what it would be like to be such a classical music fan that you would be prepared to walk 213 miles just to hear a man playing the organ, before turning around and walking 213 miles back home again? Well, that happened with our next composer. He was probably the busiest of our famous composers. His name was Johann Sebastian Bach. He was born in Germany in 1685. He came from a very musical family, but by the time he was 9 years old, his parents had both died, and he was sent to live with his big brother, who was called Johann Christoph. Keep the name Johann in your memory. It's the German for John, and it will be making quite a few more appearances in the life of this particular famous composer. Johann Christoph taught the young Johann Sebastian to play the harpsichord. The harpsichord is a bit like the piano, but it sounds very different, as you can hear for yourself. Those harpsichord lessons from his big brother were just about the only proper teaching that Johann Sebastian Bach ever had. He was an incredibly talented musician, and it all came naturally to him. It was a bit like those teenagers who are really good at playing football or at dancing. It's a skill that they seem already to have inside them, and they just get better and better as they get older. At 15, the young Johann joined a choir, and this gave him the chance to really begin discovering music. This is him walking. He's famous now for the lengths he would go to hear musical performances. Remember, there were no cars or buses, no trains, no aeroplanes, so getting about was difficult. When he was still 15, Bach would regularly walk 30 miles to and from Hamburg to hear a particular organist. But that's not where he's walking today, because now he's 19. We've caught up with him during his holidays, as he walks 213 miles to a town called Lübeck to hear a performance by his hero, another organist called Dietrich Buxtehude. Once he'd heard the concert, he turned around and walked 213 miles back home again. On another of his journeys, this time to the German city of Hamburg, he stayed so long that he nearly ran out of money. He was tired and hungry. As he walked past an inn, the smells of delicious food wafted out. At that moment he felt even more tired and hungry. He must have looked a very sad sight, because somebody inside took pity on him and threw 2 fishes out of the window. Inside each of them, he found a coin. It meant that he could continue his journey without having to worry about how he was going to pay for it. It's fair to say that the organ was a particular passion of Bach's. He was probably the greatest organist of the century, but he didn't boast about his achievements at all. He said,
"There's nothing really remarkable about it. All you have to do is hit the right key at the right time and the instrument plays itself."
This, of course, is not true. The organ is not an easy instrument to play. Not only do your fingers have to fly over the keys at great speed, but your feet have got to press the pedals at the same time, without you looking. This is Bach's best-known work for the instrument. It's called Toccata and Fugue in D minor.